Hi, I'm Hal with a quick demo of how to price and mark up paper. Almost every printing project begins and ends with paper. You've heard the saying, not worth the paper it's printed on. Paper plays such a critical role in our business that it pays to have a clear understanding of how pricing it affects our profits. MorningFlight divides paper into two separate categories: paper you keep on hand and paper you buy as needed for a specific job. Say a customer comes in and orders 600 letterheads. Printed on in-stock paper, you can go to the shelf and pick up 2 reams, of which you'll maybe use 660 sheets. The rest you can put back on the shelf. Now take those same 600 letterheads, but print them on a paper you have to order. You would still need to buy 2 reams to run the job, but now the leftovers can't go back to the vendor. They would either have to be sold to the customer as blank second sheets, or get dropped off at a daycare center for the kids to doodle on. The main difference from a pricing perspective is that you'll have to charge the customer for 1,000 sheets, not 660. That's how MorningFlight sees it too, and by extension prices it. Paid editions from the Passport on up allow you to override this minimum package rule. In other words, you can special order a paper, pretend it's in stock, then pay for the leftovers out of your own pocket. I'll give you a heads up. Nobody needs paper that's collecting dust in your outlot room. And even if, by some miracle, somebody should happen to order it, you forget it's there and buy it all over again anyway. The control center for setting paper markups is located in my store. The percentages you enter into the boxes here are what MorningFlight uses by default, separated by paper category and the quantity the customer is ordering. Want to use the same percentage across the board? Just enter identical values in all 12 boxes. With data validation turned off, MorningFlight also lets you enter 0 markup rates for in-plant shops. Another way you can adjust your markup is item by item. If left alone, all paper items inherit the markup rates set in my store. Using the button on the far left, you can fine-tune those rates in 1% increments, up or down. The rates stay in sync with the settings in my store, but maintain their up and down variance. I should mention that any adjustment you make for a specific paper item has no bearing on the general settings in my store. What you're doing is simply telling the program to make an exception for this item only. The next 3 buttons produce static, fixed markup rates, completely independent of quantity, category, and the settings in my store. When the markup says 10%, 10% is what MorningFlight adds to the quote. If you're unfamiliar with the MorningFlight interface, the 3 buttons on the right select the range, the slider controls the percentage. Click the left mouse button to move the slider up, the right mouse button to move it down. That's it for this tour. Thanks for watching.